Earthlings, to another edition of the Morning Wake Up here on Steve Shetler Media. I'm Steve. Glad to be with you on your Thursday, March 14th. And we are being brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Find them at 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa. Call 641-676-1516. And they are open Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., Saturday noon to 6, Sunday noon to 4. There is no place like Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Again, Eddie at Home Plate Sports Cards bringing us our morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. We are live from the Oski Dental Studios, and our weather is brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. They've got fresh floral arrangements, jewelry, home decor, sympathy gifts. They got something for everyone at the Garden Gate at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney. Stop in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon. Showers and maybe a thunderstorm for today. There's definitely some rumbling and some rain overnight. Chance of some showers and thunderstorms basically throughout today. A high of 57. And winds gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. Rain chance at 60% for today. Tonight, 50% chance of some showers and storms and a low of 38. Still pretty breezy tonight. Tomorrow will gradually clear off, a high of 57. Tomorrow night, clear, a low of 39. Saturday will be sunny, breezy, and 59. Current conditions here in southeast Iowa, humidity at 100%. Wind speeds are east at 10 miles per hour. The barometer at 29.70 and 52 degrees here in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate. Hey, we're doing the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media, brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards. Coming up at noon today, we will release the question of the day. It's always brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Call or text for an appointment, 641-622-3772. They offer hair and spa services, extensions, products, and tanning. In a relationship, should the man be taller? What do you think? That'll be our question of the day that you can comment later on. Should the man be taller in a relationship? What do you guys think this morning? Is it weird if the girl is taller than the guy? I mean, is that like a necessity? Does the guy have to be taller to make things not awkward? I don't know. I'm taller than my wife, so we'll go with that. Should the man be taller? That's our question of the day, brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa. That goes up again at about noon today on Steve Shetler Media Facebook. Let's see here. Did I get my this or that for today? Give me a second. Let me pull up my this or that, which is always brought to us by Stacy Flynn. And yeah, just give me just a second here. La 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 la. Looking there, we go. Ooh, almost there. Almost there. Oh, here we are. This went up earlier today. Our this or that brought to us by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and by Welcome Realty in Sigourney. This or that, a wooden wall or a brick wall? What do you think? That went up on the Facebook side of things early this morning at 6 a.m. All you have to do is just comment this or that, wooden wall or brick wall. That's our this or that, brought to us by Stacy Flynn. What else we got going on today here? Do want to get you updated on the For the Fun of It tournament, 90s Country Male Superstar, sponsored by Sarah's Quickie Delivery, or Sarah's Quickie Delivery. Tim McGraw moving on in the tournament. He defeats Sammy Kershaw. So far, Garth, George, and Tim, some of the favorites, I would say, to win the tournament. Moving on, our current matchup right now, if you scroll back through my Facebook page, is Alan Jackson versus Colin Ray. Man, I tell you, these are all tough matchups. I mean, it's just not fair that you have to vote on, if you have to pick sides on some of these, because, man, Colin Ray, that guy could sing. He was one of, as far as I'm concerned, Colin Ray was one of the underappreciated male vocalists of the 1990s. I mean, he didn't get a ton of awards. I don't know if he got any awards, but he sure should have, because that guy had a heck of a voice. Sang some great songs. So I don't know. My heart would probably go for Colin Ray, but Alan Jackson, in all likelihood, is going to win. I don't know. I think I'd vote for Colin Ray in that matchup. I like Colin a lot. So we'll see what happens. But Alan Jackson, Colin Ray, our current matchup. The next matchup that will go up at 6 p.m. This evening is Vince Gill and John Michael Montgomery. We'll go back to that other side of the bracket to see who's going to face Garth in the next round. Vince and John Michael Montgomery, your next matchup. But Colin Ray and Alan Jackson going on right now in our 90s Country Male Superstar Tournament, brought to us by Sarah's Quickie Delivery. Coming up tomorrow, this week is just kind of zooming by. We'll have our Iowa Music Showcase live at Barnwired in Sigourney. There you see Brittany Sword. Brittany coming to town tomorrow from 11:30 to noon, Barnwired in Sigourney. Watch it on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Or stop in live, in person. Check it out at Barnwired in Sigourney. Get some coffee and lunch, all that good stuff. And we'll have a good time talking to Brittany Sword. Brittany and I, we kind of go way back. We've done several interviews before. So going to be good to see Brittany Sword again. I know after playing at Barnwired in the midday tomorrow, she's got a show at Muse Music Store in Oskaloosa tomorrow night. So a big day for her. Maybe just follow Brittany Sword around tomorrow. Sigourney, Oskaloosa. Going to be good to see her once again tomorrow. Let's see, here coming up Saturday, sports section, coach's show. Eddie Conrad going to be our guest host on Saturday. That'll be fun. Eddie, a great guy. He'll be hosting sports section from Brothers Market in Sigourney on Saturday morning. I know we're going to have Alex Holt from the Sigourney soccer team, the coach from the Sigourney soccer team, Saturday morning, going to be one of our guests, so make sure you tune in Saturday morning. Am I missing anything right now? I don't think so. Let's do some community calendar events. As I do want to promote some upcoming events in our community. Let's get that stuff out of the way. The Barn City Annual Fireman's Breakfast coming up on April 7th. Put that on your calendar, 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the Barn City Fire Station. So you got that going on. Let's see here. Let's bring this up. We've got the Glow and Walk for the Heartland Humane Society. That's what the HHS stands for, Heartland Humane Society in Ottumwa. That comes up April 13th, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Jimmy Jones Pavilion in Ottumwa. Of course, I've got a great relationship with the Heartland Humane Society in Ottumwa. In fact, I'll be going there later on today to get our weekly pet video. And then the Sigourney Public Library, their after-school programs going on through April. So take advantage of that if you're in the metropolis of Sigourney, Iowa. Hey, we are doing the morning wake-up, as we always talk about, brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa, as you can see right there. Oh, it's on the tip of my finger right there. Home Plate Sports Cards, Oski Dental. As you can see down below, they are talked about there, live from the Oski Dental Studios. Pretty soon, my Steve Shetler banner, which is behind me, right back there, we're going to replace that with the Oski Dental banner. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's say some good mornings here. Good morning to you, Dodie, Nancy, Sherry, Marcia, Tracy, Amber, Renee, Dixie, Bruce, Kurt and Kathy, Sherry, Kay, Jan, Cindy. Oh, good to have you all here on a Thursday morning on Steve Shetler Media. What do you say? Shall we do some birthdays? Let's go ahead and do that. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Birthdays for today. Actor Michael Caine is 91 years old. He's been in, he's made a career of movies. 91 from Michael Caine. Quincy Jones, composer and producer, 91 years old. Of course, he brought Michael Jackson to fame back in the day. Kind of was one of the instrumental people behind We Are the World. Quincy Jones. Actor Billy Crystal, turning 76 years old today. Radio personality Rick Dees has his 74th birthday today. We've got actor Adrian Zmed. Yes, Z-M-E-D. Adrian Zmed from T.J. Hooker back in the 80s, probably. Dance Fever, 70 years old for Adrian. We've got the Prince Albert of Monaco, turning 66 years old. Basketball player Larry Johnson from UNLV. Great UNLV teams back in the late 80s, early 90s. Larry Johnson turning 55. Singer-songwriter Christian Bush from Sugarland also has his own solo career, turns 54 today. We've got a singer, keyboard player Taylor Hanson from Hanson. You know, the three little brothers that made it big way back when. 41 years old for Taylor Hanson. Steph Curry, basketball player. He can shoot a three-pointer. Golden State Warriors, 36 years old. And then gymnast Simone Biles from the Olympics, 27 years old for Simone. On this date in history, again, it is March 14th. Boy, we're about halfway through the month of March. Let's see here. On this date, 1964, a jury in Dallas found Jack Ruby guilty of murdering Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of President John F. Kennedy. It was on this date in 1968. Batman. The last episode of the TV show Batman. The last episode of Batman aired 1968. Holy cancellation, Batman. It was on this date, 1986, Robert McDonald set the world record for going without sleep at 453 hours and 40 minutes, basically 19 days without sleeping. How do you do that? Was he allowed like tiny little naps here and there? I hope so. 19 days without sleep for that world record. That's crazy. Today is, on the National Day calendar, we've got a National Write Down Your Story Day. That is today. It's also National Children's Craft Day. It's National Learn About Butterflies Day. And it's National Potato Chip Day today. So celebrate those days. Also, it's Pie Day because it's 3/14. So maybe have some pie. It's not that type of pie, but still pie. P-I. Pie Day. Things you need to know. Whip. Things you need to know. See here, Starbucks. If you're a Starbucks Rewards member, you can get one, buy one, get one free on drinks today from noon to 6 if you're around a Starbucks. They're everywhere. Not none here in Sigourney or Oskaloosa. But Starbucks, get one, buy one, get one free, noon to 6 today. We mentioned that it's Steph Curry's birthday today. Steph says, don't be surprised if one day he announces that he's going to be running for president. President Steph Curry with the 3. Let's see here. Food news, just to keep the sweets coming, Oreo, and I like good Oreo. Oreo is coming out with Oreo mint frozen treats. McDonald's has the Shamrock Shakes, which I enjoy. They've also got like the an Oreo mint thing going on. Did I see that Walker drive-thru has something like that right now? Anyway, Oreo mint frozen treats coming to a store near you. Let's see here. Lenny Kravitz. Are you going to go my way? Lenny Kravitz now officially has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Good for him. A new study says that 48% of us, basically half of us, sleep better without our partner in bed. So half of us, we would sleep better without the other person beside us snoring. I snore. At least that's the rumor. I've never heard myself snore. So, other things you need to know: Christina Applegate, she is starting a new podcast with Jamie Lynn Sigler, as they are going to be talking about their life with multiple sclerosis. So look for that new podcast. Neve Campbell, she has confirmed that she's going to be back in Scream 7. She's going to scream 7 times. Neve Campbell, again, Scream 7, posted that on Instagram, saying that her iconic Sidney Prescott is coming back. Let's go to Wendy's. Some Wendy's locations unveiled their new Frosty flavor. It's called the Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It'll go nationwide March 19th. So, an orange creamsicle flashback. Are we talking about those things that, like the orange push-up things? Is that what we're talking? I like an orange push-up. Those things that you pushed up through the little cardboard toilet paper roll. That's what it was. So look for the Orange Dreamsicle Frosty at Wendy's coming up on March 19th. Movie news, Robert Pattinson will be back as the Caped Crusader. Batman. Why do all Batmen talk like this anymore? I don't know. Robert Pattinson will be in Batman Part 2. That'll be hitting theaters next year sometime. Dollar Tree. Let's see here. Dollar Tree actually lost money in their fourth quarter of last year. As a result, they're said to be closing 1,000 of their stores over the next several years. Okay. Yesterday, the European Union's Parliament approved the world's first major set of ground rules to govern artificial intelligence. How do you govern artificial intelligence? I mean, it's going to take over the world. It's going to get a mind of its own and just destroy us all. Terminator style. You can't govern AI. You can't govern the Terminators. Come on, man. How about Patrick Mahomes' family? His dad gets into trouble, and so did his brother, Jackson Mahomes. Jackson Mahomes, the younger brother of Patrick, has been sentenced to 6 months of unsupervised probation after pleading no contest to a simple battery charge. So, I wonder if Patrick has much to do with the rest of his family. Let's go ahead and do this. Today's Impossible. It's impossible. Question. Today's impossible question. It costs more to do this in Alaska than any other state in the U.S. What is it? It costs more to do this in Alaska than any other state in the United States. What is it? Eating at McDonald's. I'll take one moose burger, please. That'll be $15. No, Alaska. Yeah, it costs more to eat at McDonald's in Alaska than anywhere else in the U.S. That's your impossible question. I got to catch up on some good mornings. Good morning to you, Tamra Schuster, Tamra Fogel. We've got Amber, Nathan, and Eloise. Good to see you this morning, Eloise. Let's do... Oh, my controls are going bonkers on me because I want to hit the weird. Oh, my things are going bonkers. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Anyway, let's do... Oh, there it is.
That is weird.
Let's do some weird. Wildlife rescuers in Virginia shared a video of an official wearing a red fox mask. Ring, ding, 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 ding. What was the fox? I'm trying to think of the fox song from a few years ago. It's longer than I think. What does the fox say? Was that the song? Anyway, An official was wearing a red fox mask while syringe feeding an orphaned kit, a little baby fox. The video, posted to Facebook by the Richmond Wildlife Center, shows the director, Melissa Stanley, wearing a somewhat realistic mask and rubber gloves while feeding a little baby red fox brought to the center earlier this month. Now, the reason for doing that is so that the little baby fox doesn't get used to humans. So they want to make it as fox-like as possible by feeding it in costume. That's interesting. Let's go to Michigan. A Michigan woman said she was alerted to her own $1 million Powerball prize by seeing it on Facebook, as she saw a news story saying that there had been a winner of the $1 million prize, and it ended up being her. She didn't know it. So thankfully she saw that story, checked her Powerball numbers, and she was the $1 million winner. Let's go back to Dollar General. You know, is the Synchrony Dollar General opened up yet? I'm hearing rumors. Dollar General convenience store in Mineral Point, Wisconsin, faced an unexpected closure over the weekend as all of its employees walked off. They quit. Customers arriving at the store were met with signs taped to the front door reading, "We quit." On both Friday and Saturday, the exit came as all 6 employees, including the store manager and assistant manager, voiced their concerns of being underpaid, undervalued, and overworked by the corporate structure. So again, that was a Dollar General in Wisconsin. All of their employees saying, "See ya." This is weird and disturbing. 2 Georgia men are accused of setting off a bomb at a woman's home and plotting to release a python to eat her daughter. So the bombing wasn't going to be enough. They were going to have a python eat the daughter. Authorities say 34-year-old Caleb Kinsey and 37-year-old Stephen Glosser conspired to harass, intimidate, injure, or kill the woman who owned the house. Glosser and the victim allegedly met on a dating app, but their relationship eventually went. So they decided to block each other on the app. That's when Kinsey got involved. The men allegedly planned to shoot arrows into the victim's front door, mail her dog feces or dead rats, scalp her head, blow up her home, and release a python to eat her daughter. These guys are a special kind of crazy. Wow. A TV station reporting that Glosser found the victim's home, built an explosive device using Tannerite, which is a brand of firearm target designed to explode when struck by a bullet. The two then used the device to blow up the woman's house. Police served a search warrant on Kinsey and Glosser's home and got their phones. Authorities then found evidence of explosives and one of the men's journals. They are indicted on a slew of charges. They are planning on having a python eat her daughter. Talk about whacked out of your brain. Good Lord. Speaking of the good Lord, that transitions into our next story. Jesus, send us money. A pastor has claimed that Jesus hasn't returned to earth because people aren't donating enough. Oh, Jesse Duplantis. The evangelical pastor Jesse Duplantis speaking during a 4-day event entitled Victory-thon, which aired on the Victory Channel. When he made that claim, Duplantis told viewers that if congregations handed over more cash, they could speed up Jesus' return. He said, quote, "I honestly believe this. The reason why Jesus hasn't come is because people are not giving the way God told them to give." Duplantis then urged people to pick up their phones and call the number on the screen where they could donate. I don't know. I guess you can look that up yourselves and make your own, get your own conclusions from that. Let's go to the files of law and disorder. In some disorder today, if my fingers can get these papers apart. In some disorder, an 80-year-old man from Montana has pleaded guilty to 2 felonies in what federal prosecutors describe as a, quote, audacious scheme to create massive hybrid sheep species to be sold and hunted as trophies. So again, this 80-year-old Montana man wanting to create giant sheep. Prosecutors say that in a plot that began more than a decade ago, Arthur Jack Schubarth illegally imported sheep parts from Central Asia to launch a cloning operation. A lab used the parts from Central Asia to create cloned embryos of a certain type of sheep, which are protected under endangered species laws and prohibited in Montana. The mountain sheep are the largest in the world. They say average males can weigh more than 300 pounds with horns that span more than 5 feet. So this guy wanting to construct super sheep in Montana. He faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000 on each count. You can't build super sheep. What are you doing? Let's go ahead and jump into something to smile about this morning.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Where the good news is the bad news don't get the final say.
And some good news, something to smile about, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions in Sigourney. Let's see here. Let's get that out of the way. Dr. Stacy Freeze and staff accepting new patients. Call 641-622-2669. Proudly serving Sigourney and surrounding areas for the past 10 years. Dr. Stacy Freeze bringing us something to smile about on the morning wake-up here on Steve Shuttler Media. Well, in a heartwarming act of kindness, French-Canadian director Denis Villeneuve fulfilled a man's dying wish of seeing his last film, which is Dune Part 2. The secret first viewing took place in a care facility in Quebec, where the man, in his 50s, watched the film on the director's personal laptop. Working with a charity, they orchestrated the private screening, with all involved signing non-disclosure agreements to avoid leaks. While the man was in too much physical pain to finish the film, which is 2 hours and 46 minutes, the charity director noted that the patient saw people and strangers around him co-conspire to carry out his last wish, and that was, quote, worth all the gold in the world. So, sad news is, a few days later, he passed away. But again, they made his dream come true of being able to see Dune 2, right from the director himself, making that possible for that man who passed away just a few days later. So that is your good news. Something to smile about here on Steve Shuttler Media. Once again, that's always brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze, right here in Sigourney at Lifetime Dental Solutions. Shall we wrap this up with some duh? Let's go to some duh.
Duh. Duh. Duh. Duh.
In some duh today, a motorcyclist was arrested after allegedly leading county sheriff's deputies on a 145-mile-per-hour police chase in Florida. The guy had an imitation Florida license plate that read, "Will Run." A little foreshadowing there. They say the owner of this tag was arrested last night after fleeing recklessly on his motorcycle at speeds of 145 miles per hour. Stay tuned for the video, is what the Volusia County Sheriff's Office tweeted. The post included a photo of the license plate, again, which says "Will Run," which it does not appear to be an official Florida license plate. So, yeah, what an idiot. Will Run on his license plate, going 145 miles an hour.
Duh. 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 Duh.
You, sir, are an idiot. That is your morning wake-up here on Steve Shuttler Media. Our morning wake-up brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Make sure you stop in and see Eddie and the gang at Home Plate Sports Cards at 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa. Open Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30, Saturday noon to 6, Sunday noon to 4. No place like Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Our forecast once again for today, it's brought to us by the Garden Gate. Showers and probably a thunderstorm. Cloudy today and a high of 57. Your morning wake up from the Oski Dental Studios here at the Steve Shetler Media. Coming up later on this morning, we'll be getting to the In Remembrance of video coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll have the Sigourney Public Library video with Miss Amanda at 10 a.m. The Great Outdoors with Laura DeCook at 4. Successful Farming at 5:30. Heartland Humane Society Weekly Pet right around 6. And Morgan You Asked For, the sports show here on Steve Shetler Media at 7 o'clock. So lots to get to. It's a busy Thursday here on Steve Shetler Media. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here at 7 a.m. tomorrow.